Everybody, how's it going? I'm your host, Adrian, coming to you almost live from Studio MC2 here in Petaluma, California. In case you haven't noticed, it's been a few months since I've put out a podcast, and largely it's because I was recruited to a job here in California, and so I've literally been spending the last 3 months, 3.5 months, relocating myself and my family to California here in Petaluma. Unfortunately, the person who recruited me was not Leo Laporte, but still, nonetheless, it's exciting to be here. I've really decided. I've spent the time. Besides moving, I've spent the time just I just want to take the show back to basics. As you can probably hear, this room that I'm recording in is very echoey. I've not done no sound treatment to this room at all. That will be coming along. But in terms of the format of the show, I still want to do audio. I still want to do video. So I really just want to bring the show, just take it back to basics and, see what we can do from that. So it probably looks crappy and sounds crappy, and until I actually do some minor tweaking, I really want to not get super fancy with this. This is the format of the show. And so with that, let's go ahead and get into the news for this episode. We're not going to, usually I run an Audible ad, but we're not going to do that right now because I don't have anything I'm going to say written up or anything. So starting off over at ZDNet, Red Hat details next Linux and storage platforms for cloud in big data era. Red Hat is ramping up for the next generation of data center by supporting Google's Open Compute project, software-defined networking advancements such as Open vSwitch and OpenFlow, and making steady advancements in the operating system, virtualization, storage, and networking, company executives said at the summit this week. So, they're making optimizations to its version of Linux for storage, virtualization software platforms, so that you can hook into Google's Open Compute project, et cetera, et cetera. Interesting stuff. We'll see how well it integrates. Right now, the leader is really pretty much Amazon, but we'll see how that goes. From Wired, over in their Wired Enterprise section, leap second bug wreaks havoc across the web. Reddit, Mozilla, Gawker, possibly many other web outfits experienced brief technical problems on Saturday evening when software underpinning their online operations choked on the leap second that was added to the world's atomic clocks. Interestingly enough, pretty weird. The Linux operating system and the Java application platform were affected. They couldn't cope with the extra second. No surprise there. I mean, it's not like this is something that happens on a frequent basis. So if there have been any weirdness, and I actually noticed this when I was online last night, just kind of surfing the internet and stuff, there were some issues that were happening. So it'll be interesting to see how things get sorted out, what goes on with that. From PC World, a new Asus PC comes loaded with Linux Ubuntu. Preloaded with Linux, Ubuntu Linux. Let's try that again. I'm not even going to cut this out. From PC World, new Asus PC comes with Ubuntu Linux Preloaded. The announcements may have been coming fast and furious out of Google I.O. today, and this story is June 27th. But the Nexus Q and other products unveiled aren't the only exciting new technologies to appear on the horizon this week. One of particular interest for Linux fans, in fact, was quietly rolled out by Asus recently, and apparently without any fanfare at all. This is really neat stuff. Asus makes some pretty nice hardware, so it's nice that they're putting Linux on it. It's the new EEE PC 1225C. It's an 11.6-inch netbook device that features the all-new Atom Cedar Trail dual-core CPU and Canonical's popular Ubuntu Linux operating system. So pretty neat stuff. Check out the article for all the speeds and feeds. From Engadget, Chrome 20 browser released exclusive 64-bit Linux Flash, fewer MacBook crashes, etc., etc. So pretty interesting. Check it out if you are a Chrome user. From PC World again, Microsoft to run Linux on Azure. Now this, I'm interested to find out what's going on here. So they've battled putting Linux on their Azure platform for years and years and years. If you don't know what Azure is, just go Google it. It's their competitor, if you will, to Amazon's cloud computing platform. After years of battling Linux as a competitive threat, Microsoft is now offering Linux-based operating systems on its Windows Azure cloud service. The Linux services will go live on Azure at 4 a.m. EDT on Thursday. Since this is Thursday in the past, so this past Thursday. At that time, the Azure portal will offer a number of Linux distributions, including SUSE Linux, Enterprise Server 11, SP2, OpenSUSE 12.01, CentOS 6.2, and Canonical Ubuntu 12.04. Azure users will be able to choose and deploy Linux distribution from the Microsoft Windows Azure image gallery and be charged on an hourly pay-as-you-go basis. Pretty neat stuff. Definitely check it out if you're on the Azure platform, or if you're just looking for a backup platform if you're an Amazon compute cloud customer. Also from PC World, Skype for Linux gets a big update to version 4.0. When Microsoft bought Skype just a little over a year ago, Linux fans far and wide feared the worst for Skype for Linux. After all, Redmond has a long history of less than friendly behavior toward Linux and other free and open source software, so it seemed difficult to imagine that the company would expend any effort on maintaining its newly acquired voice over internet protocol software for Linux users. However, last week, Microsoft served up one of those, specifically Skype 4.0 for Linux. So pretty neat. Check it out. I'm a little surprised that they output anything at all, to be honest. From GigaOM, Nokia's secret Linux team is looking for refuge. When Nokia announced massive job cuts a couple of weeks ago, one of the targets was the company's research firm facility in Ulm, Germany. Now showing impressive entrepreneurialism, the Axed team members have set up a campaign advertising their talents. So they are looking for work. If any of you are in the Ulm, Germany area, or just in that general region, you can probably pick these guys up relatively inexpensively, or just pick them up because they need work. Be amazed how motivated some people can be when they need work. Anyway, that will do it for this episode of Linux News Log. As always, visit us on the web at linux.quicksurf.com. You can shoot me an email, linux@quicksurf.com. And with that, in the next week or two, my background here will be changing. I ordered up a bunch of acoustic foam, so I will be, since the house I'm in now, I pretty much have a virgin room. It's wood floors and basically 4 walls and a nice tall ceiling. It sounds like I'm talking in a warehouse in here. You're not hearing it because I've cleaned it up a little bit, but just in here in general, it sounds like I'm in a warehouse. So I'm going to be doing some fairly extensive studio foam just to kind of cut down on the amount of reverberation in here. So we'll see how that goes. And with that, I will see all of you in the next episode. See you then. Bye.